Hey guys, Sean here. Today I wanted to quickly run through, I've actually never done a video like this, so I'm going to run through Breeze on my first, these are going to be my first raw thoughts. So I've already done it. This is the intro, but just to kind of allude to what you're going to see, I love the map, and it took me a while to kind of warm up to it, and I probably share a lot of the criticisms that the rest of the community has. But I don't want to go too in-depth here in the intro because I have a super long in-depth video that I'm trying to piece together right now. I wrote over it. It's like 45 minutes long. It talks about rotations and the comps I think are going to be used. But this is just my raw thoughts, and I thought it's a cool exercise to learn more into, I guess, just how to like evaluate a map, and just it was a cool exercise for me personally to know how my thoughts will change over time. Later on, I'm going to release tons more content, more in-depth, talking about the comps I think are going to be in play, talking about, you know, the setups I think are going to be, where people are going to play on defense, because it's such a big map. People could be all over the place. So what are the setups we're likely going to see? I kind of want to hear that from you guys in the comment, because that's not so much for this video, but I would love to hear what you guys think before you actually see my thoughts. So give me your thoughts on the comps that you think you're going to see on this map, Breeze, because I definitely have some pretty polarizing thoughts on it. I'm not going to lie. And I think people will be interested. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and yeah, be sure to like and subscribe, and more content's coming about Breeze for sure. And then after that, we're going to dive into some agents and other cool stuff, whatever you guys want, really, VOD reviews. But yeah, enjoy the video. All right. So the first thing I want to do when I come in this is I want to click M and figure out where I am. So I'm in attacker's spawn right now. And you can see it's a 2-site map. So we have A over here, B over here. And I'm looking at freeze time. Sorry, see how much time I have. I'm going to actually take the time to pause the match timer real quick. So a quick look at this without even running around the map. B has this. These two choke points on this are very close. And same thing for A is like these choke points on this combined with this one here. This could be very hard for the defenders to hold these sites because there's not much ground. Like there's not many twists and turns in these pathways, right? So, and unlike a lot of the other maps in Valorant, like Haven or Bind, I mean, even if you look at Icebox does have a mid, but people just don't really use it that much. This has a massive middle. Like this mid is huge. I have a feeling, I'm not even venturing over to this area of the map yet. I'm going to say that this will likely be used similar to how mid is used on Ascent, where site hits look like they're going to be pretty strong based on where these barriers are, but mid is so big and offers so many opportunities for gateways into the sites that attackers will often try to get control of like this and leave lurkers like up in the zone for their site hits. So yeah, let me just run through it real quick. I guess I'll check out the A site first. So this would be considered long A. Like people are probably going to call this like banana or long A just based on that shape. And this will likely be short A. It's odd that they both funnel into the same choke point. Ooh, the orb is in short A. So the orb is in short A, and it's probably very close to this defender thing. But if they were to get it, it would be very dicey. Because we would be like right up at this wall, ready to like spam this, you know? This orb is up for grabs for sure. And here's the A site. What the heck is going on here? Is this... Oh, it's water. That is very cool. So the reason why this is cool is because it's a sound cue within the bomb site that allows players to know the exact location of where people are if they make missteps in pro matches or anything like that. You can see like this is like a normal ground. Now we're running on like some kind of metal, and now we're running on water. And all of these things are actually very good for competitive play in my opinion. Ooh, that's pretty. So here we're heading towards defender's spawn.
30 seconds left.
Holy shit, this is insane. That's actually insane. Alright. Defender spawn. This way leads back into the site where it came from. Oh, they actually have like a... Oh my god, this is dope. So to retake, they can come from like 2 elevations. Similar to like a heaven, but now we can come from directly below at the same time as peeking up top. Yeah, you can get up here from 2 separate directions, the rope or this way. The second direction into A for CTs would be through this. Oh. It spawns closed. Interesting. Well, that doesn't break. I don't think. So it's just not letting me break it or something. I'm not sure. We'll find out later when I go more in depth. Wow. So it's actually going to be quite hard to get through this door if that's the case. So this area kind of leads to that third A entrance. So this was the banana we talked about earlier. This is the short where the orb is. This is the A site. This is where we just came from. Let's go back this way from spawn, just to like kind of scope it out. So this offers this direction, which is like a shoot. What the hell? So now we are in mid. We fell through like a laundry chute into mid. Okay. I'm not sure where the barriers were off the top of my head, so I'm gonna have to take a look at that again. This is gonna be very dangerous for attackers. For stuff like this. I mean, I feel like the angles out here are very plentiful for defenders. Oops. Holy shit. You can create like a headshot angle. And then that's that shoot. So, entrance 1, 2. Technically, I could get flanked from here. If I'm a defender. But then also defenders have this window too. And if it's like a Jett, that could be like in this field, just like dashing. Oh, this is scary. So there's even like boxes to hide behind. Like little nooks here, nook there. Not sure. We'll have to check the timings on all this stuff, but looks pretty sketch. And here's that A entrance from mid. So there's actually 4 entrances into, or I'm sorry, 3, because these 2 branch into 1. So these 2 entrances branch into this one. We have this door right here from mid, which means, yeah, mid is definitely going to be a big player on this map, unlike some of the others. And then this door. This door is like probably the least viable option, but it's also like one of those places that a lurker on a pro team could have immense success in the early parts of this game or this map. Yeah, let me go check out B real quick. All right, so now approaching B. Let's see where the barriers are real quick. I gotta see the barriers to get an idea.
Can't even remember the spike.
And the other team's barriers look like they're there. So yeah, remember when I was talking about the mid control? Well, technically, an Omen could get where I was, but they would have to make a pretty aggressive play, right? Like, I'm really getting into the weeds, but I wanted to take a second to talk about it. So, let's see. You would spawn and you'd be like at this barrier. So what you would probably have to do is you'd probably have to have like a smoke like this ready. That's a little bit high because obviously you don't really care if it's low. You care about blocking your vision high because that's where you're teleporting. So, I mean, you could do this with a variety of agents, like a Jett combined with an Omen. You could do it with a Jett combined with an Astra if you want, like where she recalls the smoke instead of even wasting a smoke. So, just trying to throw out some ideas.
It begins, shadows
So you
traveling.
do that, wait for it to pop, and now. But I kind of messed up the timing a little, but you can see it's viable. At very least, it's viable. And that's the most important thing. This is my first time ever doing it, so let's go back to like a B.
30 seconds left. Thrifty.
I feel the strain.
All right.
Block it out, Omen.
So it looks like this is indeed where the defender's barrier is, but with these two barriers here, maybe the defenders make a play to like come through here sometimes and fight at the elbow. It's hard to say off the top of my head. I'll have to really look at this and like analyze the timings of everything. But this will probably be smoked at the early round by defenders, because either that or someone's just going to hold an op line on this and allow someone to creep down. Think of like B site on Haven, right? Where an opper might be posted on the window from top B site, and you might have like a rifler push down and like peek into the grass area of Haven, you know, or vice versa in that setup. A similar thing can happen here with this dynamic, right? A very similar thing could happen with this dynamic over here at the B site. And I think it will quite often. But this is very interesting. This is like a whole new dynamic to that two-person play that could make this really strong on this map. But keep in mind, on an open map like this with a huge middle and close barriers to the sites like this for attackers, I am going to make an initial claim right now after seeing this map for like 5 minutes that this map will be attacker sided because of how defaults will operate.
I must endure.
Let's see. So here's the B peak. The orb is right in the middle, probably for the defense's grab if they want to. This is, think again, like I'll keep referencing like Haven or maybe even like Bind, like B long, right? The orb is close to the defenders, but you run a risk getting that orb at like long A or the one at B on Haven, right? You can just go up and snag it at the start of the round. Like if you were playing defense, you could technically, you know, put an Astra smoke in that window. Oh, hold up a second. Did I just? I must have just thrown a bad smoke. Yeah,
Traveling.
Holy shit, this window is big. Oh, this is so sketchy. Oh, no. Okay, this window is potentially too big to be smoked. But you could always smoke like this. And, like, dare someone to come through it. Right? You just, like, dare someone to come through this smoke. Because they would be running blindly into an angle where they would then have to worry about, you know, like up close left on the box, here by the orb, opping super far back. You know, like you could be way back here and throw that smoke as Omen. So, oh shit. Now we're cooking with gas. You can even, if you wanted to be really nerdy, now that we know that this window is slightly too big for smokes, you could purposely leave a gap on the left side and trap someone and get a kill. Just like this. So, keep that in mind. You can definitely do some cool stuff here. This is such an open site. Wow, this is open. It's like a death trap when attackers come in here, because there's so many little things you can hide behind, right? Like, say like an Omen blind comes through like here. I mean, this seems like it would be a super solid Omen blind to throw into this wall. I mean, you could bob and weave around this while full blind pretty easily if you know your way around the map. Like, say you're playing here and like a spotty angle, you see the Omen blind come through. Just TP across. And then you just like play this spot until you get on blind. Counter one. Retake it. Or peek left. This bomb site's sick. I really like this map right now. So all of that stuff. And they made it so you can teleport up on places. Thank God. Alright, this is actually pretty sick. Actually, I didn't check out this way. Cool little architecture. I don't know how I feel about this on like an esport game though. Just because it creates a lot of funky movements where like I don't know, RNG timings. The less RNG I feel that there is in a map, the better it is, right? But something like this does discourage attackers from pushing into spawn, right? Because abilities can be overwhelming in a game like Valorant. And you can see a smoke does cover all of this, but you would never want to push through it as an attacker because someone could be on the opposite arch, right? So if you come this way, there could be a guy in the opposite arch waiting for you. And if you push through, there could be a guy there or there. So the architecture over here is kind of discouraging you from pushing through. Similar to how split B site is, right? Like, you can push into the defender spawn if you hit B site split, but you're probably not going to be successful the majority of the time. Unless you have a very coordinated idea. In which case, again, you will not be successful all the time because eventually people will catch on. Yeah, I think that might be like it for the initial thoughts. I'm going to take some time right now to think about, you know, like the timings across the map and talk about some agents that I think will be solid on here. This is such a gorgeous map though.
I have the spike.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you liked the video. These are, like I said, these are my first initial thoughts on the map. A lot has changed since then, but just kind of high level where I'm at the end of this video is I love the layout. I think it's going to be fantastic in a pro esports play type environment. But in ranked, I think a lot of people are going to have frustrations with it because it's so big, it's so spaced out. If the attack side slows down, they're surely going to find 2-on-1s almost anywhere on the map, right? So if they go A, they'll get a 2-on-1 on the A guy. If they go B, they'll get a 2-on-1 on the B guy. If they go mid, they'll find a 2-on-1 on one of the two mid guys, you know. If they go up in those A halls where I actually think a Sentinel will end up playing. If they wait it out, they'll get a 2-on-1 up there. So that spacing is great for an esports map. It's not so great when you're talking about 3 parties communicating with each other. Like I said, max duo queue in ranked, so 3 different parties, right? So that means the solo B player might be in a separate party from your A player, which might be in a separate party from one of the 2 mid players. You know, like it could be chaos. All you need is one person to not be communicating, to have a bad time on a map like Breeze because it's so big. I think people will have frustrations with it. That doesn't mean it's not a great map. I think it has a perfect place in the scene right now. I hope they don't make too many changes. But yeah, be sure to check out my in-depth guide. I'll talk a lot about agents and comps and where people will play, the default setups that you'll likely see, and a lot of cool little tricks and aggressions that I found along the way. Nothing too crazy because I haven't actually played, you know, a custom game like a ranked game or a 10-man on the map. These are all just me theorizing how the game is going to be played based on the abilities and stuff like that. So be sure to be waiting for that content, and I thank you guys so much for supporting me, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.